He felt emotional watching Jinwoo fight back against the monster, punishing the orc just like the orc had hurt him. When he remembered that moment, Kihon wanted to thank him so much. The other hunters finally realized what had happened, as they watched their leader bow his head. If it wasn't for Jinwoo, he saved us, didn't he? They shouldn't just stand there like they were confused. They quickly moved toward Jinwoo and bowed as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Lug. I mean Hunter Sung. Really, if it wasn't for you, because of you, my wife wouldn't have lost her husband. The young hunter who had made a joke about being scared, when Kihon stopped the attack, walked up to Jinwoo with tears in his eyes. Hunter Sung, I really appreciate everything you've done. Can I have a hug? That's enough. He's doing it again. Someone please stop him. Then I'll ask you for a hug instead. Thump. Yikes. Let go of me. This is weird. Ha 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 ha. The team members laughed for the first time since they went into the difficult dungeon. Jinwoo watched them, feeling happy. He didn't do this to receive praise or gratitude, but seeing their honest happiness made him feel good. Oh, Jinwoo walked over to the female healer who was excitedly cheering with the others. He had almost missed seeing her because she was so small and near the back of the group. He gave her back the notebook she had given him earlier. She turned red and carefully took it with both hands. Thank you. She immediately felt embarrassed and wished she hadn't told him anything. It was another silly thing she would worry about later. It seemed so foolish to have given a notebook with her wishes for what should happen after she was gone to the person who carried the bags, especially after he easily impressed their boss. She looked up at him, relieved that Jinwoo wasn't making fun of her. Instead, he spoke to her seriously. Miss Healer. Yes? She looked happy. Like a student excited to answer a question in class. Please don't put your personal things with the strike squad's equipment anymore. It makes it harder to carry. Oh? Okay? She looked at him, surprised. Jinwoo smiled. He had said what he needed to say, and it seemed the other hunters were finished talking too. He turned and walked away from the surprised healer. Let's go. Jinwoo left with a surveillance team. There was one other person still there. Oh Hyen hadn't had a chance to speak with Jinwoo. She almost reached out to stop him, but she changed her mind. I wanted to ask for his phone number, but she just wanted to ask him for a little bit of his time. Talking to him now, when things were confusing, could cause even more problems. Just then, a female magic user walked up to her. Vice President. Yes? The magic user pointed to Hazin's hand. Why are you holding a pickaxe? Hazin's face turned very red as she looked at the pickaxe. She put it down and asked, do you think that made me look strange? The mage tilted her head. It depends on who you ask. I suppose. Han's face also turned red. Just outside the gate, Jinchul checked his watch and turned to Jinwoo. We are planning to go back to the association. If you have time, would you like to join us for dinner with President Go? What time is it now? It's 5:15. He could still make his meeting with Jinyo, but it would be close. Still, Jinwoo nicely said no to Jinchul's invitation. Thank you, but I already have plans. Jinyo breathed in and out, trying to stay calm. He had seen actors do this in movies. His future would be decided soon. Jinwoo's decision would determine what happened to him. He was more nervous than he had been when he talked to his father about Eugen Guild a few days before. I need to think about what's most important, the basics. It wasn't an accident that Jinyo asked to meet in the same cafe where he first shared his idea with Jinwoo. If it wasn't for the boss's support, I wouldn't be where I am today. Looking around the cafe reminded him of good times and made him feel a little comforted. He was also sitting at the same table. A little bell rang and Jinwoo walked in. Boss. Jinyo quickly stood up, smiling and bowing to Jinwoo. Jinwoo nodded hello and Jinyo waited until the boss was sitting across from him before he sat down too. So what's going on? Jinyo looked up, surprised. Boss. What happened to your clothes? Oh, this. Jinwoo had just finished fighting some very strong orcs, so his clothes were dirty. There was even a little bit of orc blood on his shirt. Jinwoo didn't seem to mind. I came right from a dangerous place. Wow. Jinwoo was surprised again. He felt like he wasn't good enough when he looked at this man. After getting permission to lead a group, he spent his extra time relaxing. But the boss, even though he was already very strong, he kept practicing in dangerous places whenever he could. Jinhyo felt embarrassed about his own habits. He thought Jinwoo was truly amazing. He had a lot of respect for Jinwoo as well. He thought Jinwoo wore clothes covered in dirt from fighting because he wasn't worried about what others thought of his hard work. He seemed proud of the effort he put in. Jinyo's face became serious. No matter what Jinwoo decided to do, Jinyo was ready to support him and do whatever he asked. So he really needed to tell the truth. Boss, here's what happened. Jinyo explained everything about his day and what had happened with his father. He even told about Myeonwon's story about who helped the hunters from the White Tiger Guild at the Red Gate. That part wasn't really needed, but Jinwoo wasn't upset, because Myeonwon had done it to help him. It's no surprise Jinhyo seemed happy when he talked about the Red Gate. Jinwoo realized what Jinhyo meant. You need my help to become the leader of the Yojin Guild. Is that right? Jinhyo had finished speaking and waited calmly for Jinwoo to respond. He didn't tell jokes or try to be charming like he usually did. He was ready to respect Jinwoo's choice. Jinwoo was thinking very hard, just as worried as Jinhyo was. Finally he looked up. He swallowed hard. Jinyo's mouth felt dry. Jinyo's mouth felt dry. Jinyo's mouth felt dry. Jinyo's mouth felt dry. He stopped working and shouted in his office. What Jinwoo-sung was at our raids yesterday and today. This new, very strong hunter. How had Jongin not realized he was there with his own team? He had really wasted a chance that was given to him. Jongin was annoyed, but excuse me. He helped with the digging yesterday and carried bags today. That explained why Jongin hadn't noticed him. If he thought about why Jinwoo was doing those things, Jongin realized it wouldn't help and would just make him confused. That didn't matter at the moment. The hunters also got help from him after the White Tiger Guild did. They were very grateful for his assistance. Jongin had hoped to recruit Jinwoo with a fair offer, but now the hunters were in a similar situation as the White Tiger Guild. Still, it was good. He learned about the 10th rank hunter before anyone else. That was a lucky discovery. Jinwoo's skills were more important than any money he owed. What kind of hunter is Jinwoo-sung? Well, Jongin struggled to find the right words as he listened carefully. He was talking to Ki-hoon, the leader of the group working today. He wasn't someone who usually told lies or made things up.
Jongin had to ask.
Are you telling the truth? Yes. That's everything I saw. Everything he saw. Does that mean there could be even more to Jinwoo than we know? If Jinwoo is that strong.
How does he compare to me?
It was a bit of a silly question, but it was a good way to understand how strong a hunter is. Ki-hoon answered carefully. Could you complete a really difficult dungeon? An Almond dungeon. All by yourself? That wouldn't be possible. But he did it. He managed to do it alone. He wouldn't even accept help from Hunter Chow. Was Hei in there too? Jongin wondered what she had been doing. But that wasn't important right now. Could it have been a less difficult dungeon that ranks as an A? If that was true, they should have been able to manage it. That man saved everyone. Jongin Choi was known as the ultimate hunter. What Ki-hoon said could have sounded rude, but instead it made Choi's heart race. I'm Choi's, Jinwoo-sung, and I were all there. Depending on how strong Jinwoo was, we might finally become the most famous hunter group in Korea, Asia, and maybe even the world. President Choi's, I shouldn't tell you how to run the group, but Ki-hoon wasn't someone who usually complained about the group either. Jongin was very interested. It's okay. Please continue. That man, please ask Hunter Sung to join our group. I think he can help you reach your goal. Jongin's heart beat faster. He tried to keep his voice steady. I will do my best. Outside the Hunters Association of Korea building, many reporters waited to speak with Min-sung. Min-sung Lee, a famous star in Asia, is now learning to hunt. It felt like reporters from everywhere in the country were present. They pushed and struggled to find the best places to stand, competing to get a good view. Excuse me. We were here first. Please. Look at how many people are trying to see. There are no reserved places. Wherever you are standing is where you stay. Someone huffed in annoyance. Reporters rushed into the street. Min-sung watched everything from a window inside the association building, and smiled widely. Yes, this is just the right amount of attention. He had taken some time off work to get more people interested, and his plan was working. Min-sung, what do you think of the newspaper headline for tomorrow? A reporter from the most popular newspaper in Korea showed Min-sung the article that would be on the front page. It's a little boring, don't you think? Do you really think so? How about this Min-sung Lee, the man who has everything, now has amazing strength. Won't a headline that strong upset readers? It's not untrue though. Besides, who in Korea would say mean things about me when my fans in the news are watching everything I do? Okay, then I'll use that as the main idea. Please and thank you. Min-sung thanked the reporter nicely, but made a face as soon as he was gone. Why even bother arguing with him when he will do what I want anyway? Just then 2 expensive imported cars drove into the association's parking lot. Yoonho Baek from the White Tiger Guild and Jongin Choe from the Hunters Guild both got out of their cars at almost the same time. Huh? Look. It's Yoonho Baek. Jongin Choe is here too. The reporters who were blocking the front entrance quickly moved toward the 2 guild leaders. Both of them looked unhappy. What was this? Reporters. Why were there so many people here today? Flash, flash, flash. Cameras went off as reporters surrounded the 2 men and asked them questions. Are you 2 trying to get Min-sung Lee to join your groups? As important hunters for Korea, do you think Min-sung will stop acting? What rank do you think Min-sung will achieve? Please tell us your thoughts on Min-sung. Yoonho, who got upset easily, waved his hand to try and send them away. He was clearly annoyed. I'm not here about him, I don't have anything to say. Jongin said this without showing any feeling in his voice. Everyone in the business knows Mr. Lee has already joined the Reapers Guild. I'm here for a different reason. The reporters turned around, annoyed they didn't get the answers they wanted. What was happening? There wasn't a story here. They felt they had gotten excited for nothing. They couldn't really complain though, not with 2 very powerful hunters standing right there. Instead they went back to waiting for Min-sung. Yoonho and Jongin looked at each other when they were alone. Yoonho spoke first. I heard the hunters had some problems too. He really stressed the word too. It wasn't as serious as losing a new talented fighter. The 2 men were arguing as intensely as the reporters were. Yoonho, who was getting upset, stopped, and then sighed. He helped both White Tiger and the hunters. We would all be in trouble if he hadn't. They didn't say his name, and that showed they were still upset with each other. Jongin moved closer to Yoonho. That's why I feel I must ask him to join our group. Yoonho was firm. He moved closer to Jongin until they were face to face. We've had some people leave. Shouldn't we find someone strong to take their place? Why do you need someone so powerful for that? What are you planning to do, attack North Korea or something? And you, when did you start caring so much about what is right and wrong? They argued fiercely. Wait, what was happening? Taji Lim, the leader of the Reapers Guild, arrived just as the reporters were starting to ask questions. He smiled when he saw 2 men staring at each other. What could he say? He wondered if speaking now would be like assuming something good would happen too soon. Taeju felt happy because White Tiger and the hunters often looked for skilled hunters. He tried to hide his smile as he walked closer to the 2 men. Hey you 2. Are you arguing about Min-sung? Yoonho and Jongin both looked at Taeju. What was up with this older man? Taeju had already said he didn't care about Min-sung or Mingun or whoever he was. Taeju quickly stepped back because of their angry looks. Wow, what was wrong with these 2? What? Jongin Choe and Yoonho Baek were here too. Min-sung smiled. He already knew the other man with them, President Lim. They had met when he signed his contract. There was a reason he signed with the Reapers, even though they weren't as popular as other groups. Instead of trying to join one of the best, I want people to think I help those who need it. For performers, what people thought of them was very important, and Min-sung was good at creating the image he wanted. I can't believe the best groups in Korea want me to join them. Min-sung didn't plan to be a hunter for very long, but he enjoyed feeling important. Soon, his manager came into the room. Min-sung, everything is ready. It's time for the press conference. Okay, his manager said, leading the way. When the glass doors of the building opened, Min-sung walked out and stood in the bright lights of the cameras. Click, click, Min-sung gave his usual practiced smile to the many cameras pointed at him. Just then Jinwoo arrived at the building. He had returned 3 days later like he was told. What was going on with all these people? It didn't look like he would be able to get inside right now. He certainly had other options. He could have used his sneaking ability, jumped over the reporters, or gone in through the back. But he had already scheduled a meeting to check on his progress, and he didn't really want to bother finding a different way in when the front door was so easy. He wasn't doing anything wrong. There was no reason he shouldn't just walk through the front door. Jinwoo walked through the group of reporters standing outside the association building. Excuse me. Please, he said. Oh, come on. One reporter shouted. What's going on with him? Another asked. The reporters looked surprised as they were moved aside. They knew they couldn't stop someone as strong as Jinwoo. Jinwoo quickly made a path and reached the steps, but a large man stopped him before he could go further. Hey, it was Minsung's manager. He looked angrily at Jinwoo and shouted, "Who are you? Was this person an employee of the association?" Jinwoo shook his head, continuing to look directly at the manager. The manager seemed surprised by Jinwoo's confidence. "Don't you notice all the reporters here?" Jinwoo glanced at the reporters. They looked upset with him. Jinwoo realized everyone was there for a press conference. But the walkway wasn't part of the area for the conference, was it? It's polite not to bother reporters while they're working, but reporters shouldn't block people either. With so many people watching, Jinwoo just wanted to leave without causing trouble. But then someone said, "Go around the back. You can't come this way. Hurry up." The manager stepped in front of Jinwoo again and pushed him. Jinwoo's eyes changed. What was happening? The manager was surprised. He had special powers and was a strong fighter. He pushed Jinwoo, hoping to make him look foolish in front of everyone, but Jinwoo didn't move at all. The manager was very strong and could have seriously injured a normal person. Jinwoo realized this as he looked down at the manager, whose face was losing color. He stared silently at the manager. What are they doing? What is happening? Are they going to fight? The reporters understood something serious was happening, and started whispering to each other. The manager began to sweat with fear. If no one was looking, he would have given up and moved aside. But reporters were watching him, and his boss Minsung was watching too. Minsung walked closer with an angry look and quietly told him, "Let's go handle this person and finish it." Oh yes, the manager was afraid of losing his job if he messed things up. He made a face and shouted, "I said you are not allowed to go this way. Please leave." Who said he couldn't go this way? What? The voice came from behind him. The manager turned around. President Go, the leader of the Hunters Association of Korea, was standing right outside the glass doors. Everyone was so shocked they didn't even think to take pictures. Gun-hee Go, President Go. The loud crowd became quiet when he suddenly appeared. President Go walked to the front and said, "This man is a visitor to our group." He then looked at Minsung. "Do you remember who said we could have this press conference, Mr. Lee?" Minsung quickly stood up straight. Of course. He worried what would happen if the leader of the Hunter Association became unhappy with him, and cancelled his press conference on his very first day as a hunter. He knew he couldn't let that happen with so many people watching. Minsung used a look to tell his manager to move aside, and then he bowed to Jinwoo and the president. "Please come in, Hunter Sung." The reporters looked confused when they saw President Go leading Jinwoo inside. "What was that?" someone asked. "Who was that man?" another wondered. Why was the leader of the group helping him? Did anyone know anything about this person? No one could answer the reporters, who were getting louder and more upset. Minsung was very angry. First, a man had pushed his way through the reporters, and then President Go himself had walked the man inside. What was on the president's schedule today? Someone said he had cancelled his morning plans. Was it all for that man? These two unexpected appearances could cause a lot of problems and make the press conference fail. But Minsung had worked hard to plan this event today. Minsung glared at his manager. He was very frustrated, because he didn't think the manager was doing a good job. The manager lowered his head, afraid to look at Minsung. Since Minsung had become a very powerful awakened being, he was much stronger than the manager. The manager had no choice but to show he was submitting. Minsung stared at him for a moment, then turned away, and action. Suddenly a TV camera started recording, and it was a live broadcast. All his hard work to become a well-known hunter would be wasted if everyone in Korea saw this mess on television. President Go showing up had ruined any interest in his planned announcement. Why did he have to appear at such a bad time? Was there a way to fix things? He started thinking quickly. He had an idea. Change the situation so people focus on something even more amazing. The reporters weren't interested in how Minsung felt before the test. They came to learn Minsung's new hunter rank, and what he would do first now that he had his license. If Minsung gave them the information they needed, things could get back to normal. "I need the report earlier than expected." He had a sly look on his face. People who knew him well said he was very good at thinking quickly. "Just a moment, please. I was going to speak with the group in charge about the plan for today." He told the reporters he needed a moment and walked toward the building where the group met to let them know the schedule needed to change. He didn't plan to have a long conversation with them. Because my father donates a lot of money to the group, they should be willing to help me. But what was that? Just as Minsung was about to open the glass door, some hunters from the watch team came outside and bumped into him, pushing him back. They stood in a line, blocking the doorway. What was happening? Minsung frowned, confused. He looked at the name tag on one man's shirt. It said Jinshul Wu, manager of the Korean Hunters Association's watch team. Minsung asked him, "What's going on? Why are you blocking the entrance?" Jinshul looked down at Minsung, his sunglasses covering his eyes. Someone with powers is having their level checked right now.